Cancer. My name is Audrey Alison, and this is your May 2015 forecast for the month for Cancer and Cancer Rising. I want to thank you for joining me and subscribing and liking and sharing these posts. I appreciate your support tremendously. Let's start the month with our full moon on May 3rd at 13 degrees Scorpio, affecting your 5th house of children. This full moon, or if you don't have children, creativity, romance, or just all of those things. It could apply to people in very different ways, but the full moon brings an awareness, an ending, and some closure to the development of the sector that it touches. So there could be an ending on a creative endeavor. You might have finished a project excuse me, that you've been working on, or perhaps your children have finished something and there's an ending in a development with them. If they finished a project or finished developing a learning project of some sort. But this full moon is squaring Jupiter, who's stationed at 13 degrees of Leo in your 2nd house of money and finance. So you could find that there's some tension around the 3rd if you need money to provide for creative business ventures or independent creative endeavors that you need resources for. There could just be a little bit of tension through the energies at the top of the month, because squares are not pleasant. They create a little bit of anxiety and frustration. So bear with that. It's just a transit, just an aspect. On the 7th of May, Venus enters Cancer. So you love this because Venus will be there through the 5th of June in your 1st house of self, beautifying you. When Venus enters the 1st house, the body, the 1st house of the physical aesthetic, you're looking beautiful. She is beauty. She is the goddess Aphrodite. She is love. She is money. She's resources. But you are really attracting people right now. So if you are looking for love, having Venus in your 1st house is a great aspect, because when she enters Cancer, not only are you looking good, but she trines Neptune, the other water sign, stationed at 9 degrees of Pisces. And eventually she'll trine Chiron at 21 degrees of Pisces, who is an asteroid called the Wounded Healer. So there's this beautiful healing energy in your 8th house of shared resources or sex or intimacy. However the 8th house applies for you. It could be property, wills, estates. It could be intimacy, an intimate relationship, and the sex you have within it. Having this Venus, the planet of love, trine Neptune, the planet of rose-colored glasses and very dreamy, chilled out planet, you could have a really beautiful feeling about the current relationship you're in or your intimacies, and even feel like there's a sense of healing there, that you're being healed through love. What a beautiful translation. Now Venus, when she enters Cancer, will square Aries in Uranus and Aries, because they're the cardinal signs, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries. So there will be some tension in the 10th house of career when Venus enters Cancer, but it does wonders for the relationship and wonders for the physical self, the physique too. On the 11th of May, Mars will enter Gemini, the sign just before you, through the 24th of June. So this is your 12th house, the most quiet house. In fact, you know what, Cancer? This is a very quiet time for you because your 12th house is activated with Mars and eventually the Sun. But when Mars, the planet of energy and action, enters the 12th, that could stimulate your dreams, your intuition, the quiet mind, the reflection. So take heed of what you're dreaming about. There are always informative messages that you can receive. Mars, when entering Gemini, forms an opposition to a retrograde Saturn at 2 degrees of Sagittarius in the 6th house of work and regimen and health. So a 180-degree opposition, directly opposing each other on the astrological wheel. Mars, anger, energy, action. Saturn, restriction, control. Mark the 11th on the day to really not react as much as Mars wants you to. Mars wants you to take action. Try not to show too much action on that day, because it might be heated, anger, temper, frustration, let that energy pass. Watch your high blood pressure, Cancer. I know that sounds random, and Cancers are the nurturers, and they tend to be calm, run calmer than others. But there's something about this aspect that I want to say: watch the blood pressure, watch the high blood pressure, and watch the heart. Any heart palpitations, blood flow. Try to remain chill, remain calm around the 11th. And the reason I say that, because the 6th house of health is in the opposition with Saturn governing that. And with Mars, those are the kinds of things that can happen physically. Well, also watch cuts and knives and using sharp instruments, definitely on the 11th, but throughout a few weeks remaining of May. On the 18th of May, we have our new moon at 26 degrees Taurus in your 11th house of friendships and clubs and groups and organizations and goals and wishes. The new moon is new energy, your new intentions. In this sector, you might have some new friendships or new people coming in, or a new club to join, or a new goal to fulfill. But this new moon is also in opposition to that retrograde Saturn in Sagittarius in the 6th house of work and health. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do. The planets move around the sky. Some of these aspects are beautiful. Some of them create tensions, and I can't sugarcoat the reality of the science. So I'm just going to tell it like it is. As much as I love a new moon date, this is a tension day. This is a frustrating kind of, or a restricting day, I think, with Saturn. You might want to do more than you're capable of doing. Perhaps you're not feeling quite 100%, and you're restricted from getting something done because your health is impeded around that time. Perhaps through the 11th through the 18th, because of Saturn retrograde in your health sector, making you feel a little bit restricted. On the 18th, the same day we have this new moon, Mercury will retrograde. And he will retrograde at 13 degrees of Gemini through the 11th of June. He'll go direct at Gemini at 4 degrees then, and remain in this sign until July 8th. This is the 12th house, the house right before you, the very quiet house. I don't even mind a Mercury retrograde in the 12th house. The only thing I can say is the nostalgia and the remembering of people from the past in your dream life will be very activated. And people from the past can come in to the current when Mercury's retrograde period, but in the 12th it's about the dreams. And the technical difficulties will remain kind of whacked out across the board regardless of what house Mercury falls in. Watch the computers, the phones. Don't take phones into the restroom with you. They will end up in the toilet. It's just that kind of inconvenient energy. But the sun is here on the 21st to enter Gemini into the 12th house. The sun is everything. It's God. It's Apollo. He is where the sun goes, we follow. Having him come into this 12th house where Mercury's been retrograde, he'll be conjunct Mercury there. Information, the emails and things that were held up in the retrograde can start to move forward again towards after the 11th of June. The sun will still be in the sector in the 12th, making it a little bit smoother for you. I'd like to get to the cards. I'm using my Steadfast Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place. This is a limited edition deck, and there are no more copies of this particular deck available, but there's some other versions that he has online if you're interested. Let's see what Cancer has in store in the tarot, and if you'd like to book with me, you can find me at audreyallison.com. I read all through the week, both astro and tarot combination readings, or I do either or. It's completely up to you. And I'm also on Facebook at Astrology, or Audrey Allison Astrology and Tarot. Here's your cards, Cancer, for May. First card, Ace of Swords. A good idea, wisdom, positive thinking, a good intention. The swords are the mental cards, the air signs. And the ace is the initiator. It's new moon energy. And your new moon is in your 11th house. The new moon is in Taurus. Okay, let's see. Well, I've pulled this a few times for several signs. At least 5 out of 12 receive this. I don't like that card because it's about heartache, but it is in the past positioning for you. So past heartache. I wouldn't be surprised if you heard from a past love during the Mercury retrograde, Cancer, between the 18th of May and the 11th of June. The 7 of Coins, transformation, earning money that you're due, but transformative change in the money that you're earning. And the Fool, sign of Aquarius, your polar opposite sign. So there could be some relationship activity, especially since your 8th house of sex and intimacy is activated in the trine between Venus and Neptune. But the Fool also is an initiator card. It's the first card of the Tarot. It suggests a new beginning. It's the number 0 in the Tarot. It is the absolute beginning. So I feel like, Cancer, you've gone through a process here, and this is the goal. And, you could have completed something in the 5th house of a creative endeavor or a good idea that you had, an invention, a beautiful card for inventive areas. But now you're about to embark on something else. You're about to embark on a whole new path. Keep this in the past, Leo. Or, I'm sorry, Cancer. Keep this in the past. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not your polar opposite, Aquarius, because for some reason, I'm thinking Leo. Jupiter's in Leo, but this Fool is a new beginning. It doesn't change the definition, but I'm sorry. It does represent Aquarius, but Aquarius is not your polar opposite. Capricorn is. Okay, bear with me. I'm trying to hear things and see things all at the same time. Keep this behind you, Cancer. They're saying keep this in the past because anything that you're feeling loss from is you're transforming. You could have received some kind of inheritance or payment or trust through someone's passing or someone's death. But I actually feel these cards want you to take a new approach to change. I think that Cancer's, you're a cardinal sign. You are the initiators. So go with the flow of change and use the retrograde for your benefit. Revise, review, rewrite, rehearse, and look over all of the information before taking action. You don't have fire. You don't have fire in these cards, which is good in a retrograde because I don't want to see you making too many quick, hasty moves and then have to redo everything all over again or have things work against you. Cancer, I apologize for that, calling you Leo at that time, but forgive me. And I'm wishing you a beautiful month. I feel a healing energy for you. And I'm wishing you a sweet day and a happy May. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.